Hello, we're here from the TG Foundation in London, interviewing Kishti Tomita, musician, singer, voice coach, and former jury member for Idol in Sweden. Kishti is also a human rights activist and is with us today for a film screening and panel discussion about sexual violence in the Congo.
Yeah.
Kishti, as I understand it, your family has a long history in the work of international human rights. Is that correct?
Well, my family started with human rights actually during the Second World War. Sweden was neutral, I would have to say officially, but those who have read history know that Sweden wasn't in fact very neutral. So my family was engaged in smuggling illegal documents about what actually was taking place during the Second World War, about the Holocaust and so forth, which was illegal in Sweden in those days. And then from there on, my family moved on to Vietnam War and so forth, and I sort of grew up being aware about the apartheid regime in America, which is actually what it was during the 60s. And so my awakening really came 1968 at the Mexico City Olympics, when John Carlos and Jimmy Smith raised their hand. And they were human rights activists. Many people think they were Black Panthers, but they were actually part of an organization within their university. Yes. So.
And how do you think that this history has affected you and the choice of causes that you've become involved with, particularly the cause of sexual violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Well, I realized that studying history and studying the effect of war, I realized that to rule a society and ruin a society throughout history, and also what happened in the Afro-American situation and the Caribbean situation, is that to divide man and women and to create men as violators and to abuse women emotionally, sexually. So thereon the woman who then is isolated in an isolated emotional state passes on the negative experiences through her upbringing of her infant, and then you get a snowball reaction rolling generation after generation, which is a huge problem. And that has been the problem, of course, with the African American community, dividing the community also, and also
you
with
think
the
that,
Caribbean. And this is exactly what is happening now all over the world, and not only in Africa. It's happened also in former Yugoslavia, and has happened in the past and the present. This is part of war, but it is also part of what is happening globally as far as creating a future that is not fruitful, and that is to divide the woman, to isolate the woman from being part of the community and being part of feeling at ease with the men of society. And so I think that this is a very, very, very important question, and I really tribute that to my family, and also to the experience of 1968 and my experiences of the Vietnam War. So I think this is extremely, extremely important.
If we could focus for a moment on the situation in the DRC, where it's been said that it's the most dangerous place in the world to be a woman because of the extent of sexual violence that's carried on, exactly as you're describing. Do you think that the general public in Sweden or in Europe in general is fully aware of the extent of...
Absolutely not.
And why do you think that is?
I'm going to be crude. There's this black women, African women. If there were 400,000 or 200,000 white women in Germany being raped, we would see a totally different action and reaction. and it doesn't sell newspapers. The moment there is, because we don't relate, and this is one of the huge problems that we're now facing, the not being able to relate within the world. We cannot relate to Africa, and we have huge problems in the borders to France, to Spain, and to Italy, and there's a growing hostility in Europe in relationship to the problems coming from Africa. But of course, we have to build a world that works.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we will all suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And we will suffer greatly if we don't do something about this now. And the important thing is also to do something about it with passion, and I would say approach a very heavy subject with a light heart,
Mm-hmm.
with compassion and love. And not only from the government point of government to government, but also from the grassroots level, bringing healing from both directions. And of course, there is problems within many countries of Africa of the rulers not giving a crap about their own people, because there's no feeling of nationality. One tend to think more about tribes and what tribe you belong to and so forth. And but we really have to do something about this now.
And if we could just take those 2 points of one, I know that in addition to your work in the field of music, you also are a media personality.
Yeah.
And appear on news programs. What message do you bring to public officials and to political leaders from that level about what they need to do, European political leaders, about what they need to do to help alleviate this situation?
We have to start thinking in a global way,
Mm.
more openly, and stop walking with our noses in our own teacup.
Mm.
And embrace the world the way we fly everywhere, we can network everywhere. I can Skype to all over the world, and so it is we have to look at human liberation.
Mm-hmm.
It's about human liberation, to be free. It's about being free emotionally. It's about being free, educated. It's about being free as man and woman. It's about togetherness, and it's actually about how do we create a world that is loving and caring, as far as nature and as far as our relationships are concerned. We have to interact and consider the whole world.
And what message do you, obviously, as someone in the entertainment industry
Yeah.
who has those connections, what message do you bring to other celebrities and public figures about getting them involved and using their notoriety to help raise awareness of issues like this?
I think that I would love to say, let go of your fears.
Mm.
I think there's a great stigma around sexual violence and sexual abuse of all types,
Mm-hmm.
because I think people are afraid to feel dragged down. They're afraid that the feeling of the victim will be superimposed on the person who is getting involved, and that is not the case.
Mm.
Many people I met so many people who have been through amazing hardship, that has so much love, that has so much presence, and so much to give about loving life. So we really can learn from one another, and you really don't have to feel dragged down because you're engaging in a very complicated and a very upsetting situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it and feel empowered. Because if we didn't do that, we would still have apartheid in South Africa. We would still have an apartheid regime in America. We would still have all the wars in Vietnam going and so forth. You have to just be brave.
Mm.
And the world is ours. It's our world.
And on that positive note, what are your hopes for the women and the entire society in the DRC in the coming years? What do you look forward to that's going to create change there?
we have to work on grassroots level. We're bringing down the trauma emotional set that has been created of all these situations for these women and also for their offspring, so that this doesn't become an unfolding situation. And then we have to work on the government level. So we have to work on both levels, and everyone could make a difference in exactly the way he or she feels is appropriate for them in their life. You know, if you're a physician, or if you want to contribute through financial situations, or if you're a teacher, or if you're a whatever, just be a friend, or be a person.
Wonderful. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
speaking with us,
Yes,
Kishti.
thank you.